In part 5 of our app scoreboard project, we're going to create the code that will display Team 2 on the screen, show the current score that's being held in Team 2 score in our variable, and have an add and subtract button that will increment or increase Team 2 score and subtract or take away from Team 2 score if we need to. All right, let's go ahead and jump in and get started with our app. Let's close up the app preview panel and scroll down in our code to line 53, where we added some extra padding to kind of add a little bit of space on our screen for team number 1. Tap at the end of line 53, right behind those closing parentheses. Go ahead and tap return, and let's add an extra line there as well. So tap return again. Let's add a comment on line 55 about what this next chunk of code will be doing. So add 2 backslashes for your comment and type in the comment team 2 score. This next chunk of code is going to be tracking and holding our current score in our variable team 2 score. Go ahead and tap return at the end of line 55. Now, in our app, we know that Team 2 score is going to work pretty much like Team 1 score did. So we could retype all of this code to create the section of our app for our Team 2 score. But instead of doing that, let's be smarter programmers and let's reuse our code. So let's scroll all the way back in our code until we find where our code started for keeping track of Team 1 score. That was on line 22, and I can tell that because I see the comment on line 21 letting me know that this next section of code is going to be the score for Team 1. So let's tap in front of line 22 and tap again so that we get our select handles. Go ahead and tap on select, and then let's drag those handles down on the screen. You may need to stop and scroll up and then grab the handle again and drag it down some more, and stop and scroll up and drag that handle down again. We're looking for the end of our code here for team number 1, and that's going to be at line 53. So drag that select handle all the way to the end of line 53. All right, while that code is all selected in blue, tap on the screen again and let's tap copy. Tap on line 56 now, right after our comment for Team 2 score. Go ahead and tap on line 56 again, and we should get our little menu to let us paste. Tap on paste to paste in all of that code there on line 56. All right, awesome. Hey, let's open the app preview panel and let's see what that did. Now we've got a second section, but it's called Team 1 score. Why did that happen? Well, because we just copied the same code for our Team 1 score section. So since we copied it, it's going to say Team 1 score because that's what our code was. And if I tap on the add and subtract buttons, look, both of those scores are being affected, even though I'm tapping the second set of buttons. Why? Because our code, if we look over here at our action, our code is affecting Team 1 score. Team 1 score -1. All right, and for our add button, if we look under that, what is our action for that button? Again, we're going to increment Team 1 score. So we're displaying the same exact code on the screen, and our buttons are affecting Team 1 score in the first section and in the second section. All right? So we saved ourselves a lot of time with not having to retype that code, but now we need to go through and edit and do a little debugging so that our Team 2 score is actually displayed on the screen and our buttons actually only affect Team 2 score. All right, so let's close up that App 2 preview panel and let's get to work editing and debugging. So let's go back to where we just added that code in. So scroll through your code and find line 55. Again, these comments can be really helpful for helping us to scan through our code quickly and find exactly what we're looking for. Okay, so let's start moving down from line 55 and see what we need to edit and what we need to debug or fix so that our code works correctly. Well, first of all, in line 56, I see that the text that's going to appear on the screen is going to say Team 1 again. And I know this section should say Team 2, so change that 1 to a 2 in there. All right, also in line 56, I see the variable Team 1 score. Well, we're in Team 2's section now of the scoreboard. So let's tap on that so it's highlighted, and let's start typing Team 2 score. And we should get some code snippets popping up to help us. There's our variable name right there. Go ahead and tap return when you see Team 2 score. So on the screen, we should now see, if we tap on our app preview, awesome, it says Team 2 now. That looks a lot better. When I tap the subtract button, oops, look what's happening. Now it is affecting Team 1's score when I'm tapping on those buttons under Team 2. All right, so let's keep going. We've got some more things to fix here. So close up your app preview and let's keep going. All right, line 57 and 58 look good. We are modifying that text on the screen to make that font larger and bold. That looks good. We've got a comment on line 59. Again, we're going to make another horizontal stack. So we have an H stack that we're starting. Perfect. Here's where we're going to have our buttons, an add button on the left side and a subtract button on the right. So let's check out these buttons because I think that's why we're modifying the wrong team score. So here's our action for our button. Our comment says we're incrementing the score for Team 1. Well, no, we're in Team 2 section. So this comment should say increment the score for Team 2. And that means we need to change the code on line 63. What is that action? The action we have assigned to this button is that we're going to have Team 2's score be incremented. So let's tap on and replace that variable Team 1 score, you guessed it, with Team 2 score. And as we type that, we should see that pop up in our code. Go ahead and tap return when you see that selected. So we are going to set our current value of our variable Team 2 score. We're going to assign the new value to be the current value of Team 2 score. So again, let's replace that variable so that we don't have Team 1 score in there. And our action will be that we're going to add 1 to our current Team 2 score value every time that we tap that button. Okay, that looks good to me. Let's check out the app preview and let's see what happens now when we tap the add button. Hey, look at that. Now we are incrementing or increasing our value for Team 2. We're not affecting Team 1 anymore. But when I tap on the subtract button, same problem. We are still affecting Team number 1 score. Team 1 won't like that. All right, hey, let's close our app preview and let's keep going here. Let's keep editing and debugging. Let's take a look at our next section. We have a label on our button. We want that to look like the same kind of style as our buttons in Team 1 section. So let's leave this image just as it is. We've got the system name plus .circle.fill icon displaying on our button. That's perfect. It'll look just like Team 1's button. And we have text showing up on our button that says add, exactly what we want. Okay, so our add button looks good to me now. All right, we've debugged it. We've got it fixed. It is now affecting Team 2 score. Okay, the next code looks good as well. We've got our modifiers to format the button. Perfect. Same style as we have for our Team 1's button, so it looks consistent. Let's, instead of having red buttons though, let's tap on line 72. Let's make Team 2's buttons yellow. So tap on period red, tap right on red, and let's replace the word red with yellow as our modifier for that tint. So go ahead and tap return when you see that code pop up. Let's check it out in the app preview. Awesome. Now we've got a yellow add button, so it looks different than Team 1's buttons look. Okay, let's close our app preview. Let's keep going here. Next, we're going to look at our code for our button that we copied. We have an action assigned to that button to decrease the score, but it says Team 1 score. We want to decrease the value for Team 2's score. So tap on that Team 1 score variable and start typing Team 2 score. Select that code, that variable name, and tap return. And on the right side of the equal sign, we're going to assign the new value of Team 2 score to the current value of Team 2 score. So again, tap on Team 1 score and start typing Team 2 score. Tap on that code to select that variable for Team 2 score and tap return. And we're going to subtract 1. So every time we tap on our button, the action that's going to happen is our variable is going to give us the current value of Team 2 score and it's going to subtract 1. And that is going to set the new value for Team 2 score that variable is holding for us. All right, that looks great. Let's go ahead and check out our app preview. Now, if I tap the subtract button, now I am only affecting Team 2 score. I'm subtracting a point every time. Again, if I tap my add button, it is adding a point to Team 2 score. Perfect. Now our buttons are working exactly like we want them to. But we still have a red subtract button and we want it to match that yellow add button. So let's close our app preview. Let's head back to our code and let's keep editing and debugging to fix our problems that we've got here. Okay, on our button we've got a label. In that label we are displaying an image called system name. That is a particular system image, one of those SF font or San Francisco font symbols. This particular one that I have is called minus period circle period fill. So similar to the add button, it is adding a little minus button. Perfect. That'll look exactly like our little icon on our subtract button for Team 1. So we want that. We want it to look similar. Okay, our text again says subtract. Awesome, perfect. And our modifiers, again, it's going to be this fancy bordered prominent style for the button so that it's all filled in. It looks like a button. In line 84, I can see that my button, there's my code that is affecting that tint or color of the button. It says red and I want it to say yellow. So tap on red. We're going to keep the period, but we are changing red to yellow. So go ahead and start typing yellow. When you see the code pop up, you can tap return. And now if I check out the app preview, awesome. Now I've got yellow buttons for Team 2. And they are working exactly like they should. Team 1's buttons are working perfectly as well. I can add and subtract to increase or decrease the score. Awesome. Okay, this looks like a close score here on our scoreboard. All right, let's close up our app preview and check out the rest of our code to see if it's exactly like we want it to be. All right, what we have left then on line 86 and 87, we are adding in a little bit of padding. Again, kind of so that when we look at our screen, our buttons are squished right up next to our team name and the current score that's being displayed. So it looks kind of nice. Our scoreboard app name is still sitting right on top of team 1. Don't worry about that. We will come back and fix that a little bit later on. In the next part of our scoreboard app project, we will take care of setting up the section of our app that will display on the screen the Team 3 name and the current score, and add the add and subtract buttons for team number 3.